Hi Aquarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your November 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I decided to take a break from those to early next year sometime, but I just wanted to give you an update on that. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. The main situation position, we had a few cards come up. You guys got the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, the Page of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, and then the Three of Swords, which is Libra energy. So you can see this playing out a few different ways. For one, the Lovers is, for you guys, that's 5th house energy. So it could just be saying that maybe you had a casual thing with someone that you wanted to go to the next level, but you might have felt like that commitment was just out of reach. Because if we look at that pentacle, it's like just out of reach of his hands, and if that pentacle represents the stability of the connection, and there could be some disappointment around that. You know, so maybe you guys got to a certain point in the connection, it might have been fun and playful, but when it was time to go to the next level with the connection, you might have had some difficulty with getting it there. For others of you, this could just be saying that there could be some difficulty with your work life as well. You know, maybe some disappointment there where maybe a promotion or a raise might be just out of your reach. So now you might be thinking of some creative ways to boost your career. So from what I'm seeing down in the foundation, for example, maybe some of you are deciding to go into business for yourself. So you're just trying to think of ideas around that. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, and the 10 of Cups, which is Pisces energy. So this definitely seems to be focused around finances for you guys in some way. But it can obviously be relationships too, given that we see the Lovers, 10 of Cups, those are very relationship-oriented energies as well. But I'm really feeling like it's a little bit more financial for you guys this month. But either way, we'll cover both. If this is a relationship thing, it could just be saying that you might need to look a little bit closer to see if maybe you are idealizing a connection in a certain way, you know? So, not to say it doesn't have the potential to be long term, but maybe you're just idealizing how far ahead you were in a connection and just expecting it to unfold in a very particular way that might not have been all that realistic. That's one way it could be playing out. And for others of you, if this is around a career thing, could just be saying that you're really just trying to look for a way to get that happiness around your finances, where you have that connection between actually, you know, having some tangible financial success, but also being able to enjoy what you do. Because I see, like, you know, that's like the older version of the same people in a way sometimes when I look at this card. So it's like, you know, having that financial success, but also being in touch with your playful, youthful side when doing that work. So you could just be trying to evaluate how best to go about that. And you know, we do have Mercury retrograde right now at the time of recording this in Scorpio, which is your 10th house of career and finances. So you could definitely be reevaluating that area of life for sure. In foundation position, we see more Virgo energy. And this card I definitely view as a bit of an entrepreneur type energy because, I mean, if we look at the artwork, he's quite literally making his own money. So this could be what you're ultimately deciding on. You know, like, all right, well, maybe I'm just best to go my own way and start working for myself, right? Like I said, if this is around some kind of career disappointment. And for others of you, if this is around a relationship too, it could be looking at, okay, maybe I was idealizing the connection in a certain way, right? Let me approach it from a more practical angle and put in the work toward the connection. So that's why I see you there. In the past position, we have the 5 of Wands. So it could just be saying that if this is around career, you know, maybe you're just involved in a very competitive field. Maybe the people in your environment didn't necessarily, you know, everyone was kind of looking out for themselves, let's say it that way, you know, so they might have just looked out for their best interest, and you might have just felt like, all right, it was a stressful environment where you couldn't necessarily count on anyone, you know, and that doesn't sound like the type of energy that you guys would thrive in. I mean, Not many would, quite frankly, but I feel like you guys in particular, you might just like, hope for a more cooperative environment to be around. So this could have been part of the disappointment for you guys as well. And if this was around a relationship, it could just be saying that you had someone who had multiple options that were around them. So maybe that was where the disappointment came in for you there too. So that could be, for example, maybe you guys viewed it as further along. So maybe you thought, oh, okay, we're in a relationship, whereas this person just thought, oh, I thought we were casually dating, so they might have had other options still at play. So seeing a lot of different things with the spread, so hopefully you're still following along. In the present position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here, which on the one hand, Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house, and we already said how this could be a focus on career and finances for some of you. But what I'm seeing here is just, given that for you guys, Capricorn is your 12th house, and there's a lot of heavy energy going on in there. Could just be saying that you guys are really stuck in your head on a certain way forward. So for example, maybe this is just a goal you have in mind, but you're very set on in your ways as far as getting it, right? So you're like, all right, this is the one way to go about doing it. And what this could be saying is you maybe have to look at some creative ways to get there. If the way you've been trying up to this point seems like it's been causing blockages, right? It could just be saying, all right, well, maybe you need to get a little creative, think outside the box, which is something that comes naturally to you guys normally, actually. So could just be getting back in touch with that quality you have to look at an innovative way, like, okay, this is a little bit stagnant, it's not moving forward the way I hoped it would. What do I need to change to get to that next level? So that could be what you guys are evaluating there. And these are good energies to focus on anyway, because it'll help when Saturn actually does arrive in your sign, which will be around the middle of next month, to actually have these things worked out in your mind, so the transit goes a lot more smoothly. All right, in the near future position, we have the Three of Cups. So this is a bit of a celebratory energy, and it's Cancer energy, which for you guys is your 6th house. So this can be around work for some of you, so maybe you actually do see some improvement around your finances, and that could be what you're celebrating about. Could be as simple as we are starting to get into the time of the holidays for everyone, so this could also point to you just spending some time with family for the holidays, maybe doing a little bit of celebrating there, reconnecting with old friends if you live in a different area now and you go back home to visit them. Doesn't have to be anything major like that, but yeah. For a lot of you, though, I'm seeing like this can be something related to finances for you, though. It wouldn't be a necessarily a huge victory. It's just the Three of Cups. It's not like a major arcana thing, but definitely looks like forward progress. Your influence on the situation, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is Cancer energy again here. And like I said, for you guys, that's your 6th house. So you guys, I really just feel like you're very focused on finances. And if you do have some kind of creative project that you're working on, I feel like you're taking it very seriously, but you're keeping it under wraps for the time being. You're like really wanting to perfect it, I feel like. And that could be part of what it is for you too. When I was talking about idealizing something, for some of you, I was saying maybe it was a relationship, but for some of you, maybe it's this project you're working on where you want everything to be just perfect before you finally release it, And it could just be saying, well, if you're in a competitive field, right, it could lead to some missed opportunities if you're just, holding on to what you have, because the more people in that field, you might be working on something really awesome, but the more you wait, someone else might come in and present that same type of idea, Don't get me wrong, this is a retrograde month, so if you wait till December, probably wouldn't be the worst thing. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. And then for some of you, this can just be saying that you're still a little bit closed off emotionally toward a connection. Because I always point out that this is the one card in the cup suit that has the lid on it. And, Cancers can be that way sometimes a little bit, where they're a little bit guarded with their feelings and expressing their feelings. So that could be what's at play for some of you too. All right, in the environment position, we have the Seven of Swords, which is actually Aquarius energy, and the Two of Cups, which is more Cancer energy. So a lot of Cancer energy on the plate, on the table, wherever. So that makes me think that for a lot of you, it can be for finances, because like I said, that is your 6th house. So that usually does relate to work and daily routines. But for some of you, this can be around a relationship too. And I do have to say, like I was saying there, that I felt like maybe there's some other people in the environment with a person you could be dealing with. If that's the case, that looks like it would come to light this month, as far as, like I said, if they were giving you the impression, no, we're totally in a committed relationship, right? Because if we look at those two swords, they're representing the two people in the connection, right? They're like, oh yeah, we're totally together. But if we look at the direction that he's running toward the Three of Cups. So usually I don't see the Three of Cups as like a third party dynamic type situation, but that could certainly be the case here. So definitely just keep an eye out for that. It could just be playing out another way too, though, which is to say that either you or the person you're dealing with. Now, keep in mind it could be you, since this is Aquarius energy, and like I said, you guys have some tough transits going through your 12th house, which could point out some ways you might self-sabotage. But whomever it is, with this card here and then Two of Cups, could just be saying that either you or they have a tendency sometimes that when a connection is getting off the ground, you kind of self-sabotage it. Like, okay, here's this connection that's getting off the ground, and then you might do something to actually knock it off course. So that's what I'm seeing there. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Gonna naturally assume that this is a hope for you guys. And obviously that's saying that, you're hoping for things to move forward in a positive way. The good thing is all those planets that were retrograde in your 12th house are moving forward now. Jupiter's actually on its way to your sign, so even though you guys are going to have Saturn, which is going to be a longer term transit, having Jupiter in there as well could definitely help soften the blow a little bit, especially if you're doing the work now while all those things are going on in your 12th house. This can present a positive shift for you guys too. I mean, it is just a hopes and fears, but toward the end of November, there's going to be an eclipse in your 5th house. So if this is around creativity, romance, dating, you could definitely see a shift in that regard around that time. So keep an eye out for that. And in the outcome position, we have the Devil. So this is actually Capricorn energy, which, like I said again, that's your 12th house, and it could naturally also relate to the 10th house since it's the natural ruler of that. And we said you have that Mercury retrograde in there, so could just be saying, really being trapped in head around something, maybe just having a almost obsessive quality to getting something done, but in a very specific way. Like I was saying before, where maybe you're just holding on to a very specific way of doing things. And that could be why this is coming up as a challenge for you guys to, get a little bit more creative and a little bit more innovative. I mean, if we look at the fact that we have this energy here, in contrast with the Lover's card in the main situation position, right? Could just be saying that, could just be a cautionary thing saying to try to avoid getting stuck in your head. Like I said, Mercury retrogrades, that tends to happen to people to some extent anyway. Plus, you have those heavy energies in your 12th. The good thing is Mars will start moving forward again in Aries, which is your house of communication. So if that's been part of it too, where you just felt like you haven't really been able to communicate clearly the way you want to, that should help alleviate the situation in that regard. And by then, Mercury will be clearing its shadow as well, as we get later into November. And at the bottom of the deck here too, we do see the Ten of Wands, which shows that, you guys have been really working towards something, put a lot of work in it, but at the same time, again, I feel like the approach might have been a bit off, because if we look at the way he's carrying those wands, he can't even see his way forward, right? So you guys might just feel so bogged down by what you've been working on that you're like, okay, I don't even know where this is eventually going to lead, right? And interestingly enough, beneath that, we have the King of Swords, which is the court card for your energy. So this could definitely be pointing to you guys feeling burdened by something, that you really put a lot of work toward. The good thing with that, though, is we do see the Temperance card beneath that, which is Sagittarius energy. So could just be pointing to, like I said, the fact that you're going to have Jupiter coming into your sign pretty soon. So that could definitely help things out in that regard as well. But we'll see what the actual Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we have No Place Like Home. There's the artwork, and the number is 50. Maybe there's something to that too, because there's so much Cancer energy, like I was saying for you guys. So maybe it is just advising you to just try to stay home and withdraw for a bit and let these energies pass. But we'll see what it says. It says authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. The Oracle's message. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither humility nor pride. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. So, interesting message there as far as the authenticity goes. Because with that Queen of Cups, it could just be saying that you are kind of holding yourself back in some way. I don't know exactly what that reason would be, but that's what I'm seeing there. And almost like I said, maybe just because you guys are just so caught in your head with those heavy energies in your 12th. But hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that it is reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspects of familiarity now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. So an interesting message there, because that does make me think that for some of you it can really be that situation where, like I said, you guys might have a connection that starts going well, and for whatever reason you might have this little trigger in you that might cause you to self-sabotage it in some way, and like I said, those 12th house energies being as heavy as they are probably will push that to the surface for you to finally heal it. So I do think it's something you could totally overcome. It doesn't look like it's a real heavy energy in the connection, but hopefully that resonated as well. All right, the prosperity message says when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So definitely an interesting message there when it talked about both successes and failures. When I was talking about the whole creative energy that we saw there, that could even be saying that, maybe you are looking back at some disappointments and failures that you had, and you are looking at ways to turn them around and, make them beneficial for you, whether it be profitable, like, if you went through some experience, you like write a song about it or something like that, you name it. There's tons of ways that could play out, but that's what I'm seeing there. So hopefully that resonated as well. Okay. Next we have Cat Spirit. It says claim your independence. There's the artwork, and the number is 13. So we'll see what this has to say. It's kind of self-explanatory, but we'll see. Okay, it says when Cat Spirit meows, she is calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking risk as you wander into new territory for you, Cat Spirit rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. So definitely an interesting message there too, as far as it says the independent spirit roam free. That kind of does make me think of that 7 of swords energy again, so I would say if that's the case, if you really do need your space, and I get, like, even if you did try to communicate it, for example, maybe that's what that Five of Wands is about. Because of the Mars retrograde in your house communication, it might not have come out the right way. So that might have caused an issue for you. But, I would say if you can, just try to communicate that if you do need space, it doesn't look like it would be a deal breaker. I mean, because underneath this, we do still have the Two of Cups, you know what I mean? So I'd rather see it in that order than in reverse order, which is to say, on the surface, it looks like something really good, but beneath the surface, there's this deception going on. This is the other way around, you know what I mean? Where it's like, all right, even if there's like this little habit either you or they have of, like, causing a little bit of like a self sabotage energy, there's still love there, so it can be worked on. And like I said, if it's just a matter of you needing your space, especially if you are so obsessively focused on finances, then I feel like if you communicate that, it should go over fairly well. All right, so moving on to your Mudra card, you have the Svadhisthana Chakra Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is adaptability. All right, so there's a lot of info on the card, so I'll just hold it up for a second here if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say, and then we'll move it up to see the rest. All right, under benefits, it says increases ability to adapt to change, opens creativity and the ability to spontaneously respond to any situation, increases capacity for intimacy with self, others, and the environment, benefits the reproductive system, increases fertility, and tonifies the blood. So, I mean, just reading that, it does sound like it could be beneficial for some of the tougher energies we did see in the spread. So, that sounds like something you'd be interested in looking into further. I'll put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.